Oh, hey guys. So, back on the road. Well, I mean, as far as you guys know, but no, I'm back on the road. Currently on my first trip back. Went home with no trailer, went down to Greeley to grab a trailer, and then went over to Lexington, Nebraska to the Tyson plant. A load is ready. Supposed to be ready, 0600 on Tuesday. It was reloaded. I got the call at home, then it was ready at like 12:30ish on Monday, and I left home by, let's see here, I think it was 16:30. I don't know, something like that. But this load is going to Commerce, California. AA Meats, I believe. I don't know. Originally, I was gonna be about 30-40 minutes behind, just due to a really long deadhead. Like I had a 5 or 30 mile deadhead, and that would mean I need an extra 10 to do this. But I made up some time due to maintaining an average with this heavy load. This is 42.2, so it's pretty heavy, and terrain is, not exactly flat. But I've been getting good average, and so that helped. Also, MPGs sort of stayed up. It was about half of today and half of yesterday, where it kind of dropped down to 6 due to the fact that I was heading west in Nebraska, and west in Nebraska is always a towing cost, especially on the western half. But anyways, let's get on to the actual video. The subject I want to do. What is this guy doing? This is gonna back. I have a truck, but the nose of it. Okay. But by now, I've had 2 pay stub videos out on the tube, right? 17 weeks. And I knew, the first one was kind of shit. Like, just that one was fine. The second one, though, by the time, this video is out, you've already seen it. But the second one, much better quality. Everything about it's much more professional. Actually has real work into it, real setup under it. But I knew when I posted these videos that most likely it was going to get some comments from people who maybe don't necessarily understand why I'm doing this, or agree, or just want to just shit talk, because that's just how it is. If you're not doing their way, you're wrong, pretty much. But so I figured I'd make, a video, I guess, about saying, not maybe necessarily every single reason why I'm doing it, but give you a few. Okay, so for those who don't know, and I don't know if the comment people are ever gonna watch this video, but it's out there for everybody else, I guess. But for those who don't know, I'm from Wyoming. Wyoming is if you're an oil field and like tanker, you're fine, right? You can get plenty of companies. I didn't want to do that freight-wise. I didn't want to do that. If I want to work in Wyoming, like doing that type of sort of labor, I might as well just go back doing towing, because I at least enjoyed towing. And I also didn't want to be part of the stereotypes, anyways, because as towing, I dealt plenty with the oil field guys, and was not exactly impressed with what I got to deal with. So Wyoming for general freight is kind of like no man's land. Yeah, there's kitty litter. There's a Pepsi plant up in Worland. There's probably a couple other things I can't think of the top of my head, but kitty litter is all over Wyoming. But so I was like, okay, I gotta find a company where they're gonna let me stay out. This is when I was considered a company, especially when I was leaving. I was looking for more pay and more home time, which is kind of hard to get both. But I was willing to sacrifice, but stay out 3 or 4 months at a time, maybe more. But I want to go home for a month to 2 months in a row. That was the issue I was running into. I could easily get hired on by companies, but most I was getting was 1 month out, one week home. Yeah, but what if I want to stay out 3 months and go home for a month? You can only stay home for 2 weeks straight. Well, how about no? I'm not your fucking little slave here. It is my house. Like, yeah, pretty much. And I started running into, okay, well, fine, we all have to, you have to quit and then reapply. It's like, how about no? Or this one, okay, fine, but you have to turn the truck in. So I'd have to pretty much, every time I wanted to go home, unpack the truck, like clean it completely out, and then load it up into another truck that may or may not be the same truck. And I was like, okay, no. Especially this is before truck shortages. So this is right at like the start of COVID. Before, when inventory really started getting, started getting a little tight. It hadn't actually, became non-existent yet. There's companies out there right now where there's a month or 2 months waiting list to even get a truck, and it's like, yeah, no thanks. So okay, I was like, no, really want to become an owner op anyways, but yeah, I didn't just say, okay, I'm not saying lease, purchase, owner op, so don't, unbutton your panties. Listen to the video before you actually make comments. Because I was an owner op before I came into this field. Granted, it was a different field with much lower expenses, but I was used to making decisions, running it my way, etc. Right? So I was like, okay. Started looking around at the time. I was like, banks are starting to get a little tight with, loaning money for trucks, and then inventory starting to seize up. And this is also when the down payments started going, or deposits, down payments, same thing, started going up and up and up. Where originally, you can get a brand new truck with $12,000 down, right? And I was actually tempted to just go do that then, but I wasn't sure if I was going to like it or want to do that. Because let's be honest, like, you may think you want to be an owner op, but maybe, you get into it, you're like, I don't want to do this actually. So I was like, okay, maybe I don't want to throw $12,000 down right away. I just should have, hindsight 2020, So I was like, okay, maybe I'll go do a lease purchase for like, a few months to see how, test the water, see how I like it, right? Get a feel for things. And I did that. That's when I picked JCT. Well, one of the very few that would hire me out of Wyoming too, would actually, take me on. And I got a brand new truck out of it and everything. So the way JCT's thing, their trucks are priced at, it's this one's $179,000. It's a 21 Freightliner, but it has, this is what people don't understand. They're like, oh, you're paying $900 a week for a truck. Well, actually, mine's flexible. It goes based on how hard I run. So the harder I run, the more I pay. Which, sure, it's a high payment, but this is not just there's no 900 flat. You just take 1 week and that's it. I've had anywhere from $500 truck payment all the way up to $1,500. Just depends on how I run. But they factor in the interest here is 10%, which is actually, I understand why they do interest. Let's be honest with it. Like, they're the ones taking risk here. So, anybody is going to loan you, give you a loan, and it's kind of what this is in a sense. They're going to make some money off you. Go get a loan anywhere, you're paying interest. And 10%, it's actually for a first time, truck buyer, it's right around where you're going to be on average. And it's, 8 to 12, sometimes higher. That's based off what I've been Googling myself and talking to banks. I think the bank quoted me the lowest was actually my credit union in town this is also last year, was, 5.6 to 6.8 or some shit like that. Now it's probably higher because of inflation. But that was also off certain terms. But so $179,000, 10% interest included. So that's already factored into the price too. So it's everything, the whole price is with everything factored. Not to mention the APU. That's $12,000 brand new APU. So they lump everything together, and then you pay over across. It's kind of the way it's set up is like across 5 years. It's how the math is added up. You can pay it off sooner. You can also finance it. That is an option. There's a lot of shit. That's kind of what I'm working on. I'm staying here to finance the truck. I was never here to pay the truck off with JCT. That was never my intention. So yeah, I should have thrown down $12,000, you know, originally, but I wasn't sure I want to do this. So now I'm here. I've only been doing this since what? October 2020. So, you know, kind of picked a bad time to do it too, because the guy who made the comment, just go to your, you know, go to the dealership and put money down there. Yeah, but see, the thing is though, used trucks are still overpriced. You still have 600,000 mile trucks going for $80,000. That's still overpriced. Yeah, it's only $20,000 overpriced now, but I'm also very against used trucks. Period. Even used vehicles, personal cars, and all that, because I don't know how they treated it. Do they treat it like me, where anybody sees, like, all you gotta do is go look at my maintenance videos. I don't skimp on shit. I don't. I take care of even my personal car. I take care of my stuff. But I'm also not going to overspend $70,000 to $100,000 on a brand new truck. Not that stupid either. So yes, am I stupid for doing a lease purchase? Maybe a little bit, right? I'll work with you on that one. Am I completely stupid enough to go overpay on a dealership right now? No. Am I overpaying here a little bit? Maybe by a few thousand. I mean, if you take away the APU and the interest, I mean, that's about 140-ish for this truck. It's about right where you'd pay for also the specs of this truck. And it's not like a fleet spec truck. I mean, this thing came with upgraded seats, you know, some extra gauges, airbags on the steers, just to name a couple things, right? So I mean, this truck has some things, but I also came into this knowing, due to circumstances of the world, that I was going to sacrifice early on for, you know, extra benefits later. Also, I was not stupid enough to believe that the rates of COVID were going to stick around forever. So I wasn't planning on, you know, running at those rates anyways. Yeah, my percentage, no. Do I wish I was? Yes. But there's also two sides of this, two perspectives, okay? And the way I'm treating this too is, if I can make it up this rate, so when everybody else is starting to struggle, right? Because I'm actually profiting in this. I'm actually profiting, and when I go home with, what, 2 months salary pretty much? Two full months of, you know, pay? That's, by the way, that's only saving across 3 months. Like I just ate off 3 months and went home for a month, and I went home with 2 months salary pretty much. And by the way, I don't know where people get this idea that I pay 30% tax rate. No. Okay. Also, being from Wyoming, should also research, you know, the person you're going to shit talk on first. But being from Wyoming, I only pay one tax rate. I don't pay state. There is no state taxes. Only federal, okay? And that was what? There was something I didn't know last year. So yeah, I paid taxes last year. This year I won't. I forgot to file I forgot to claim some deductions last year. Didn't know about it. I do now. There's plenty of people that are making as much as me, or a little bit more, and that's what they're paying in taxes. Zero. If you claim all your deductions correctly, you can pretty much, here's what it comes down to math-wise. You can make it up to about 110,000 take home, you know, well, take home, you know, before you taxes, whatever, just take home. I mean, because, yeah, 1099 is technically gross, but after all deductions of, you know, everything comes taken out, what you get, that is your take home. And then if you have taxes, you pay them. Taxes are not guaranteed out here. But it's about 110,000 before, you're almost guaranteed to pay low taxes, okay? That's kind of what the math adds up to. Not the same for everybody. For example, I bought a house this year. That's a giant deduction. Kids. There's, like, Wyoming gives you $1,000 per fucking kid you can just take off. So, I mean, if I had any kids, whatever. But I'm only working about 8 months of the year right now, currently. And I'm making, you can go do the fucking math. Like, just because my pay fluctuates, it averages out. So yeah, I can make $1,400 this one week, make $2,900 this week, $1,700 this week, $2,400 this week. Usually, I'm around the $2,100 to $2,200 a week, average, and that means about $80,000 in 8 months. Well, actually, I'm a little off my math there, but fluctuation. It's about 80, 75 to 80. Because it's not exactly 8 months I take off or I work. It's a couple weeks more. So, like taxes, I don't get it. Don't get that whole thing. Now, am I still learning? Yes. Also, for anybody that has a Freightliner Cascadia, the new gen shit, the Evolutions, know that the Freightliner with the 100-gallon tank, Sunnyside, there's a 50-gallon reserve. So yes, that 1,000 miles or 1,200 miles that I average, again, keyword is average here. I don't know why we are ignoring the word average. That I use year-round average works. Why? Because when I'm filling up, I'm pretty much putting in between 150 to 170 gallons. So, hence the average. If you go to do 1,200 divided by 7.5, okay, that's what my truck was getting all last year. What does that come out to? My average. And if you want to play, because by the way, when it's that 50 gallons, you're on E. There is no movement. That needle doesn't move anymore. It's sitting on E. So if you want to play that game and go second guess everything, and start getting a little anxiety, because by the way, do you want to be in the middle of nowhere running out of fuel? No. Do you want to get it too dry where, for example, the APU can't idle? Or, too low, because the APU will run on E with about at least 25 gallons in there. Found that out. It will randomly shut off too, because, by the way, the pumps now come from the top, not the bottom. So yes, that 1,000 miles of 1,200 was last year's average. Now, is it going to go up this year? It has gone up a little this year. It's been closer to 1,100 or 1,300. Why? Because my truck is still opening up. I'm sitting at. I just started this month. Okay, I came out of Homestead on the 22nd, so I have 1,100 miles on the truck so far at 8.2. Pretty good considering I've ran 600 miles today and 500 some change, but getting 8.2. Okay, average for 42,000. Pretty good. Okay. It's actually gone up. So the truck, about late spring of 2022. So this year it started opening up. I got the MPG back. About 0.2 to 0.3 more MPG. So yes, it's gonna slowly come up. Is it gonna go up really anymore? I don't know. I don't think it's gonna go up more than what is at now. Really, I'm more curious what it's gonna do in the winter. Not to mention, there's another little plot twist that nobody, it's funny, these comments, they come in, they shit talk, and then they don't know the details. Which I get it. Thanks for the comments, right? I'm not going to get upset at you over your opinions. Everybody's allowed to have them. But I will not necessarily reply to on them, but I will maybe make a video out of it. But I'm mostly west of 35, which means I'm in the more expensive fuel areas. I'm a lot Pacific Northwest, not really this year so much, but last year I was up there every other week pretty much, especially in the winter. I don't know what's gonna happen this winter. If I'm not pre-planned, one of the big things I don't like with GCT, if I'm not pre-planned going into California, I may stop and fill up because I don't know where I'm going. So yes, there's some things I wish I could do myself getting there. I'll fill up or at least add 50 gallons or whatever, because that will get me at least in and out. I'm not going to this tank is going to get me all the way down to SoCal, and then I'll maybe put 50 gallons in somewhere and get myself out, because I'm only going to have 2,000 miles for this week. But I will this will offset all my negative pretty much for the week. There's a lot of little details that I get it. You see a video, you don't necessarily know know who I am, know anything I've done, the story, anything, right? And you just make a comment. Like I do get your point of views. I do. I get every single one of them. Like Mark, you were one of the first ones that pretty much made the opposite point of view and opinion very clear. I do appreciate you for that, and I think maybe we're at this point. I don't know if you're still watching, Mark, but you understand maybe what I'm doing, even though you don't necessarily agree with it. But you at least why not? If it works, cool. Can't fault the guy for trying either way. And you saw some of my early learning struggles too. So yeah, I've had a learning thing. Like I said, there was some things I had to learn. Compared to last year to this year, I've made 30 grand more take home. So I mean, I didn't do very good last year. Now there was different circumstances, the way I was doing things. That was a part of that whole thing. For example, the whole didn't notice the 400 and some change. I forgot. I did that video like weeks after that shit came out. So and also I was tired. Like, yeah, I was looking at the video ended. I was like, oh yeah, that's what happened there. I remembered. That one. That $400, by the way, tire maintenance escrow, is what topped off. It made it go from, what was it, 4,800 to 5,300, or some shit like that. Math a little off. That's 500, but whatever. Yeah. I do look at my pay stubs. I'm very aware of my money, and I have called payroll plenty of times with questions. Doesn't mean I always remember everything. I don't. Sleep has never been my friend, and when you're running nights mainly, sleep is not your friend, and memory is not your friend. This is also but also if you've noticed too, by the way, anytime anybody asks me, do they recommend this lease purchase, I don't say yes, because everybody's needs are different. What works for me, like I'm getting ready to go home for 2 months in January, middle of January. I can't do that as a company guy. I can't. I tried. I can't. Fuck. Am I gonna do it as a company guy? Okay, maybe. It also depends on the company. I have high standards. No. I don't. Am I happy with everything JCT does? No. Do they hear about it? Yes. Do they work with me? Yes. Could they easily tell me to go fuck myself and let me go? Yeah. Will they? No. Not unless I really fuck up. Because I've already grabbed the wrong trailer once, pulled it 500 miles away. They paid me to take it back. They paid me double breakdown when there was a shitty roadside that ended up destroying a whole axle in a trailer. Shitty roadside repair, that is. I really wish I need to get better about grabbing my camera and taking it out to do things. But I'm not one of those guys that go for the camera first. I'm more of those guys that go deal with the situation, then come back to the camera. But they paid me double the breakdown pay for that. So I mean, I was down for 3.5 days, and I made like $1,500 for it. They didn't have to do that. Both those didn't have to do, period. Because breakdown's only $200 a day. I get almost $1,500 for about 3.5 days. They didn't have to pay me to go. Yeah, it was my fault. I admitted it. Like, I owned it right away. Told everything. I was, hey, I fucked up. Pretty much same numbers. Just 2 of them was reversed, and it was dark. All of a sudden, the place got busy, and I was trying to get out of people's ways. My fuck up. There's a whole video on that, right? I made a big bonehead mistake or whatever the fuck it is called. But I went from Colton, California, to Holbrook at the Maverick, and I got fuel, and they pretty much told me, we're not gonna make you pay for this fuel, round trip, take it back, and get the right run. So I took the trailer, went back there, and they paid me the normal rate to take it back. They didn't have to do that. So yes, could they let me go? Yes. Could they tell me to go fuck myself? Yes. But there are incentives from them to keep good drivers. At least the ones that actually give a shit, you know. Like, am I a glorified company driver? Okay, I mean, sure. I mean, anybody's technically a glorified company driver, even owner-ops. You are doing what's in the best interest of yourself. If you work for yourself, you're a company driver yourself. If you're, so I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do sometimes, okay? No, I don't necessarily agree with everything GCT does. Am I perfectly happy? No. Am I content? For the most part, yeah. Do I wish I was percentage? Yes. Am I working there? Yes. Am I about? I'm about 8 months away from being able to finance this truck. I will be ending this year about 110,000 left on it. If I ran like I did last year, where I did 153,000 miles from February to February, yes, that was a brand new truck. There was video proof, brand new truck. I was the only driver in this truck. So, you know, if you don't believe me, I didn't go home. I went home for like 2 weeks. I didn't like that. So, because yes, not everything's about money. Could I make more money if I just cared about that? Yeah. But I've gotten to the point where I'm starting to learn that money's not everything. Is it nice? Yes. Am I having a comfortable life how I am now? Yes. That's really all that fucking matters for right now. I am working on a home-life balance, or home and work balance, where pretty much I stay out for 3 to 4 months and go home for 1 to 2 months. That's a pretty good balance. It's probably going to be every 3 months to a month and a half, 2 months is when I'm going to go home. Now, hopefully this video has answered some. Is it going to answer all the questions? No. Are you going to believe? Have I maybe changed your opinion? No. Because you're allowed to have opposite opinions. But those that have opposite opinions, are they going to come in here and tell me good job, you know, congratulations, if my plan actually works? Well, not if. Well, I guess it is if. But if and when my plan works? Probably not. Because you know what? It's what I learned about the YouTube. It's a lot easier to come over here, even if you don't necessarily agree, and shit talk somebody. Call them a moron, all that shit, right? But if it works for them, and it pays their bills, and they're enjoying what they're doing, and it works, those same people don't come back and say good job. Now, one guy has, and I do appreciate it, Mark. I do. Like I do pay attention to you guys. Even though you guys may not necessarily think I do. Mark doesn't agree. But Mark's here for the journey. If he still is, I mean, as far as I know, he still is. I'm pretty sure there's a few of you guys. What have I learned from last year? I mean, I've adjusted things. I don't know how exactly to say what I learned. Most of it came down to the maintenance strategy. I kind of had the right idea, just wrong way of doing it. So how I'm doing it this year is, so JCT only prices 5 cents that you put in the maintenance account every week, okay? Until the $5,000 cap. But you can actually take the cap off or raise it. I'm keeping it at $5,000 for right now until about next year, if I'm here next year. Either way, next year period, either way. Because about 300,000 miles, I'm going to raise it to about 10,000, okay? Now, how I run, I put 15 cents in. So that means about a month and a half, usually when I pay it back. So like, I blew a drive, and in a month, I had that $2,000, so 4 weeks, right back in there. I just spent $3,100 at home on maintenance. That's probably going to be about 6-7 weeks. Probably closer to 6, due to the fact that I generally average about 4 to 480 going back in there every week. So, yeah, there's gonna be probably a couple 500 plus in there. But for example, 2,000 miles, that's $300 I'm putting in there. So you know, it's just. So yeah, I make less money for a month and a half usually. Twice a year, 2.5 times a year. Think about it, because about this truck, by the way, I've done oil samples. So about every 5 months, 5.5 months, this truck goes in for a lot of work, a lot of PM, oil engine PM, filter change, normal stuff. But I do it about every 5.5 months. APU does too. Big chunk comes out, so it's about 2.5 times a year that I'm recap my maintenance. Because there's stuff in between, yes. Like the dry tires, the drive happened right before home time, middle of June. I went home in July. Alright? That's horrible. Yeah, end of July, yeah. No. So, like, I'm getting a better, as every year this happens, okay, especially my first year or second year, there was a kind of more ups and downs. Now, there was some shit that happened last year, knock on fake wood, I'm hoping it doesn't happen this year. Like Q4 of last year, this truck went down once a month, pretty much. In October, I was down for 3 weeks. November, end of November, down. December, end of December, down. So I lost, 5 weeks in the Q4? Plus home time was in Q4 too, and I was only home for a week. Like in October, here's literally all October last year, okay? 2021. Home to start October. Come out, get 1 good week of running. I ran like 3,000 miles coming out home time. Then 2 weeks in a row in October, I was down. That was October last year, okay? So about 2.5 weeks down of October. 3 weeks if you count the fact that I was on home time. It was just stupid shit. Now, can it happen this year? Yes. Will it? Hopefully not. But I have learned. If you don't believe me, if you think I'm just talking nonsense, go back, watch my videos from start of, whenever I started the Kenworth. The fuck was it? Yeah, the 2020. But pretty much go watch from the start of 2022. Or 2021, I mean. You'll see that I'm not just speaking nonsense. There's been bumps and, ups and downs, curves, and I've learned, I've adjusted. I'm only getting better at this. I'm probably going to increase my pay next year. Now, I am going to try to get this truck financed. There's some things I'm working on in the background. But some of those details I'm kind of keeping more on the down low until they happen, because it's a matter of they are happening, and it is confirmed. I just don't know when yet. Things have already been approved, but government side takes slow on some things, and it's also I haven't been shown any details yet. So, but anyways, this video is 33 minutes long. My 30-minute break was over 20 minutes ago. So hey, you guys stay safe out there. Catch you next time. Bye.